So on Monday afternoon, I gave you a 9, what I believe are events that are going to happen between now and April of next year, May of next year. A lot of great comments from that. Some of you think I'm an uber bull. Is that possible? Well, but I stand by my list. I think almost all of those will happen in the next 12 months. Maybe it'll be a little longer on some of them. Maybe some of them will never happen, but I think all 12 will happen. So now I'm going to give you another series, and this series is going to be slightly more speculative. These will be more like connecting the dots, some earlier pronouncements by Tesla of what they have promised that they're going to do that hasn't happened yet. So anyway, if you like these lists of the, well, I could call them catalysts. I could call them lots of things. I could call them market movers. I could call them future events in the Tesla world that are going to drive the stock market crazy, hopefully up. Okay, this is Randy Kirk. If this is useful to you, please hit like and then subscribe if you'd like to be notified of the upcoming additional 2 like this that'll still be in this series and some of the other programs that are going to be on. You can see those in the description below. You can also find a link down there to Patreon. And I'd sure like you to join up with Patreon, help to support the channel. It's only $5 a month. All right, let's jump into my second list. Now, remember, this list is a little more speculative, a little more connecting the dots, although some of it is obvious, like the first one. Okay, the first one's really obvious. The IRA subsidy impact is going to become more obvious even in July, even with the end of the quarter reporting in July, the end of the second quarter. We'll hear more about the IRA then than we did at the end of the first quarter. We'll start to see what the dollar impact might look like. By the third quarter, fourth quarter, each quarter, we're going to get more and more information about this IRA subsidy. Well, this is going to be in the billions of dollars per quarter, okay, at some point. Will that be second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter? It is going to hit those kind of numbers. So actually, that's another one on my list is when it is showing that there's $1 billion per quarter of IRA subsidy coming in, that will be another catalyst. So it could happen each meeting, each quarter. When the conference call takes place, we could hear, okay, this is the impact of the IRA. But when it hits $1 billion a quarter, that will be really super significant. That'll be on the order of, $1 of earnings per share per year. So, I consider those to be 2 different catalysts that will be coming up. Okay, number 2, and they got to happen. I mean, there's going to be an impact of the IRA subsidy. It impacts the batteries that they're manufacturing. It impacts the batteries that they are putting into cars. It impacts the batteries that are going into energy storage. It impacts the energy storage developments and solar developments that they're doing, like in Austin on the roof and next to the Austin plant. There's all kinds of ways that the IRA impacts Tesla's bottom line. And as it becomes obvious, it's going to be in the billions and billions of dollars. All right, number 2, or let's call this number 3. The recognition of the energy storage ramp. I think it's beginning to be recognized a little bit, and some of the folks who analyze Tesla stock might be putting it into their model to some extent, but I think it's going to become even more obvious. There's a couple of things that can happen, but one of those is going to be, again, at the quarterly calls. So I'm saying in the October call, the third quarter call, there's going to be enough income from energy storage that it will no longer be a blip. It'll be significant. It'll be significant enough that if nothing else happens to that call, if nothing else happens in the third quarter earnings, although I think you'll see I got some other thoughts about what could happen in third quarter earnings, it could really make a big, huge leap for Tesla after that earnings call. I think number 4 would be the cathode factory in Austin begins production in the summer of 23. When the cathode factory is fully ramped and ready to go, I think it'll be in the third quarter. Now, just a little caveat to that. There was some indication in one of the, I can't remember now which reporting that was done recently, that maybe they're going to wait for the material coming out of the Corpus Christi facility in order to make the cathodes as good as they could possibly make them. In Austin, I'm not sure. I don't think that's how it's going to happen. I think they will start production without that in this summer, and I think that will be a market mover. The fact that they are now making their own cathodes, it's not going to make the market go crazy. It's not going to jump, 5 or 10 points because of this, but it'll just be one more piece of the puzzle falling into place, one more evidence of execution. The next one, number 5, if I've lost count again. I always lose count. The Lithium refinery begins shipping product in January of 24. Now, that's the earliest possible date. A lot of people think that Elon is really not, going to be able to do this. So if the refinery takes until February, March, or April, that's fine. But it's something within the first year. I'm quite confident they'll be shipping product within 12 months. Again, we don't know, but there's every reason to believe that they will. This will be a market mover. The shoveling of dirt today will not move the market, but actual production, execution, that will move the market. The next one is energy at $2 billion profit per quarter. So I said a minute ago that the third quarter, we would start to see energy making a significant impact, significant enough that the folks who analyze Tesla stock will have to start counting it in. They'll have to really recognize that Tesla is way more than a car company. I think that'll happen at the end of the third quarter. But when energy hits $2 billion, the first quarter that energy provides a $2 billion profit, that will be a significant day. That should move the market. And that should be in October 24. So that's slightly more than 12 months. Hey, it might happen sooner, but I think by October of 24, they'll have enough income from the facility in Shanghai combined with the one in Fremont that we should begin to see $2 billion per quarter from all energy efforts. Remember, that includes Powerwalls. Across the board price increases due to demand in quarter 4. So right now we're seeing small price increases. We've had all the price decreases. Everybody's very anxious about pricing and margins and everything else. And we'll have margin creep. We'll be getting bigger, better margins all year long, unless there's some major catastrophe in the economy. We will start to see Tesla getting 22, 21, 22, 23, 24, as they make more Model Ys, as more Model Ys are made in Austin and Berlin, all the reasons I've given you before, and just the general lowering of the cost of making these cars, and the fact there'll be price increases all along the way, we will start to see very much better margins toward the end of the year. But there will come a time, I think the demand, maybe after the refreshed Model 3, the Highlander or Highland comes out. There's a lot of things that could happen maybe after the Cybertruck comes out. Somewhere along the line, we will start to see that Tesla will raise prices across the board because they will have the beginnings of long lines of people waiting for cars. So that's something I expect to happen in quarter 4. Next to last here is a major contract with a big home builder for solar roofs. So solar, if you didn't watch the video on Sunday morning with Babe Kilgore, you need to go back and look at that. On solar, everybody loved that video, got pretty good views, but surprisingly not surprising. Nobody cares about solar. It is one of the 3 major pillars of the the master plan, and but nobody pays any attention to solar. Why? Because Tesla's not making any money on solar. In fact, they're losing money on solar. But this is not a forever thing, and solar is very important, as it all the mega packs have to be attached to solar, and all of the utility size efforts that Tesla is engaged in and will be engaged in all depend on solar. So even if their own solar division is losing money, what I want to say is that their own solar division is not going to continue to lose money. They already have a major contract in Texas with a home builder to put solar roofs on. The California California law has been passed. All new homes have to have solar. Talking to Babe Kilgore, he thinks that's going to be a major deal next year. It took a while before the grandfathered in the product houses that were being built that were on old permits. They had to flush through the system. But starting next year, those will all been flushed through. So pretty much every new house that's built in from now on, and certainly in 2024, will have to have a solar roof. Tesla is in a position, some kind of solar on the roof, and Tesla is by far in the best position to provide their complete plan there. And that is way easier for them because it'll be in the plans of the house, so they can design it around what the capabilities are of the Tesla roof. So that when that announcement's made, I think that will be another catalyst. Again, it may only move the stock a point or two, but it will be a catalyst, and people will now start to pay more attention to the solar division. And then energy storage becomes a separate line item. I know it doesn't sound like it should really move markets, but in Q1, I believe, our fourth quarter reporting in January, I believe that they will announce that they're now going to separate. They said that they will separate it someday. I think that's when it's going to happen. The year end would be the perfect time to do it. And then they'll be doing it at a time when it's significant. So the combination of separating it, announcing that it's separated, creating more of the story that Tesla is way more than a car company, that combination will cause the Tesla stock to move in the first quarter earnings report. The fourth quarter earnings report in January. Even if the rest of the news is just so-so. I don't think the news will be so-so in January, but let's just say it is so-so. That particular item changes the story. As I've mentioned many times before, Tesla is way more of a narrative stock, a story stock, than most stocks are. So therefore, anything that enhances the story makes the company look more worthwhile, gives it a longer term look at the future, shows evidence of execution. Those are the kinds of things that are going to move the story. So those are my second list. I've got two more lists. So hit notify if you would like to be notified of when these new lists come up. There's a great series of videos right now. Look in the description below with a fellow by the name of Rene. He helps with, he's a financial analyst. And I think you'll really enjoy that series. Completely new stuff that really no other YouTuber or any other of the people who follow Tesla are talking about. That's what I try to do on the channel. I try to bring you new people. I try to bring you new things. I try to bring you things that nobody else is talking about. Even my news reporting on Saturday, nobody else is reporting on Saturday. On Monday morning, at the time the stock market opens, nobody else is reporting news at that time. And then I have my financial reporting on Sunday night, Wednesday night, and Friday night. And nobody else is really giving the kind of Tesla-oriented financial analysis that I'm doing in those three reports. So if you like the channel, please like. If you certainly could use some help on the Patreon thing, I'm spending a tremendous amount of time. And if I'm honest with you, it's not paying me anywhere near my normal wages. Now, the good news is I really like doing it. I really like having this conversation with you. I really love all the folks that are taking the time to comment, and I try to answer. At this point, it's only as many as I can because I just can't possibly answer them all anymore. But anyway, that's it for today. It's been great talking to you.
Click the link below to get your paperback, Kindle, or audiobook now.